For 3 years, Victoria watched the janitor with growing suspicion. One night she finally snarled, "Who sent you?" Sara met her gaze. "The ones framing you. They thought Sara was just a cleaning lady. What they didn't know, she's the agent sent to save Victoria from her own board. Now enemies must unite or burn together. Let us know where you're watching from and what time you found this. We read every single comment. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos." Victoria Sterling adjusted her Cartier watch, watching its polished surface reflect Sara Miller's movements across her corner office. Something about the cleaning lady's careful precision made Victoria's skin prickle with unease. Every night for months, she'd observed this unremarkable woman methodically dusting her achievement plaques. But tonight, Victoria noticed things she'd overlooked before. "The quarterly reports look excellent, Ms. Sterling." Her assistant's voice crackled through the intercom, but Victoria barely registered the words. Her attention remained fixed on Sara's reflection, watching how the woman maintained perfect awareness of every entrance exit and window while performing her mundane tasks. Victoria's manicured fingers drummed against her mahogany desk. 20 years of climbing Apex Financial's corporate ladder had honed her ability to read people to spot weakness and strength. How had she missed these telling details? The way Sara's movements flowed with military precision, her eyes constantly scanning, documenting. "You've missed a spot," Victoria called out sharply, rising from her chair. Her Louboutins clicked against the marble floor as she approached Sara, who didn't flinch or startle like a typical cleaner would. Instead, she turned, with controlled grace, her expression carefully neutral. "My apologies, Ms. Sterling," Sara replied, her voice steady. Too steady. Victoria invaded her space nostrils, flaring at the challenge hidden in Sara's eyes. "Who are you, really?" she demanded, gripping Sara's wrist. The cleaning lady's muscles tensed beneath her grip, coiled like a spring. A commotion outside drew Victoria's attention. Through the floor-to-ceiling windows, news vans were pulling up to Apex Financial's entrance. Her phone buzzed with notifications. Apex Secrets was trending. "Ms. Sterling," her assistant burst in, face pale. "There's something you need to see." "Ma'am." A new voice cut through the tension. A man in a dark suit flashed federal credentials. "I'm Agent Thompson. Sara Miller is one of our best operatives. We've been investigating weapons trafficking through Apex's shipping subsidiaries for months." Victoria's world tilted. She released Sara's wrist, stumbling back against her desk. Her fingers found her prized CEO of the Year award, clutching it like a lifeline. The crystal trophy felt cold against her palm. This symbol of her power suddenly seemed hollow. "Impossible," Victoria whispered, but the certainty that had defined her life was crumbling. Sara Miller, this invisible woman she'd dismissed as insignificant, had penetrated her carefully constructed empire. Have you ever had your perfect world shattered in an instant? Type blindsided if you've discovered something earth-shattering hiding in plain sight. Victoria's mind raced through every interaction, every document Sara might have seen while cleaning. The woman had been everywhere silent and watching for months. How had Victoria's legendary instincts failed her so completely? An empire built on image and control was about to implode, and Victoria Sterling, the woman who prided herself on seeing everything, never saw it coming. The question wasn't just how she'd missed it. The real question was what else had she failed to see? And as George and Apex Secrets continued trending, Victoria realized her carefully constructed world was about to come crashing down around her. Looking at her reflection in the window, Victoria saw something she'd never noticed before: fear in her own eyes. The hunter had become the hunted, and she never even knew she was being stalked. Marcus Chen stands at the polished mahogany conference table, his reflection fractured across the wall of windows behind him. The late afternoon sun casts long shadows across Apex Financial's executive floor, and his fingers drum an irregular rhythm that sets my teeth on edge. I've known Marcus for 15 years, supported his rise to CFO, trusted him with Apex's most delicate transactions. But lately something's changed. The jade pendant at my throat feels heavier than usual as I watch him conduct another hushed phone call in what sounds like Mandarin. My grasp on power has always been absolute, built on knowing every detail, controlling every variable. But these days, the certainty I've cultivated is crumbling like sand between my fingers. That damned squeaky wheel echoes down the corridor again. Sara Miller, our night cleaner, pushes her cart past the conference room for the third time in an hour. Through the glass, I catch her reflection. There's something in the way she moves, too precise, too aware. Her eyes meet mine in the window's reflection, and for a split second, I see something that chills me calculation. Marcus, I interrupt his call sharply. Those shipment manifests you mentioned earlier, show them to me again. He hesitates just a fraction too long. Victoria, it's after hours. Surely it can wait until now. The word cuts through the air like a blade. As he pulls up the documents, my mind races back to last week's board meeting. The numbers didn't quite add up then, but I'd attributed it to end-of-quarter adjustments. Now, watching Marcus's slightly trembling hands as he logs into our secure server, I remember Sara Miller's cart positioned just outside the door during that entire discussion. A memory surfaces my mentor Richard Kane, teaching me the art of corporate warfare 20 years ago. Victoria, he'd said, polishing his own jade pendant, the very one I now wear. Power isn't about what you know. It's about what others think you don't know. The manifests appear on screen and my blood runs cold. Hidden in the legitimate shipping containers, buried in countless rows of data, I spot it. Patterns that shouldn't be there, destinations that raise red flags. How long has this been happening under my nose? Type shadow if you've ever discovered a betrayal hiding in plain sight. I whisper to myself, imagining the thousands who might resonate with this moment of devastating clarity. The squeaky wheel passes again. This time I notice Sara Miller's perfect posture, the way her hands grip the cart with military precision. My empire built on control, and information suddenly feels like a house of cards in a growing storm. Marcus's phone buzzes. Another text in a language I can't read. My fingers trace the smooth surface of my jade pendant, remembering how I'd earned it, how Richard had praised my ruthlessness, my ability to spot weakness and exploit it. But had that same drive for power blinded me to the cancer growing within my own organization? The sun sets over Manhattan's skyline, casting our reflections in stark relief against the darkening glass. In them, I see 3 players in a game. I'm no longer sure I control Marcus Chen, the trusted lieutenant with secrets darker than the gathering night. Sara Miller, the cleaner who moves like a soldier, and me, Victoria Sterling, the queen of Apex Financial, watching her kingdom crack at the foundations. Have you ever felt your perfect world begin to unravel? The question echoes in my mind as I dismiss Marcus with a wave, watching him hurry from the room like a man pursued by shadows. My jade pendant feels like it's choking me now, Richard's voice echoing from the past. The bigger they are, Victoria, the harder they fall. I reach for my secure phone fingers hovering over the keypad. Who can I trust when every certainty has become a question? The squeaky wheel fades into silence, but I know Sara Miller is still out there watching, waiting. And for the first time in my career, I, Victoria Sterling, feel like the prey instead of the predator. Victoria Sterling stares at Marcus Chen's lifeless body, her Cartier watch ticking like a bomb in the suffocating silence of his office. The jade pendant, her symbol of corporate triumph, now feels like a noose around her neck. For 15 years she'd worn it as Apex Financial's crown jewel. Now it mocks her with its cold weight. Blood pools beneath Marcus's desk, seeping into the imported Persian carpet she'd personally selected. The metallic scent mingles with industrial cleaner, a nauseating cocktail that makes Victoria Sterling's stomach lurch. She watches Sara Miller. No, not Miller, whoever she really is, move through the crime scene with military precision, nothing like the meek cleaning lady who'd scrubbed Victoria Sterling's office floors for months. Your entire operation is compromised, Sara states flatly, photographing documents with a device disguised as a cleaning spray. Victoria Sterling's fingers trace the jade pendant's smooth surface, a nervous habit she'd developed since becoming CEO. The security cameras whir overhead, their red lights blinking like judging eyes. Her empire, built on calculated risks and brutal efficiency, now feels like a house of cards in a hurricane. 15 years! Victoria Sterling whispers more to herself than Sara. 15 years building Apex, and I never... Her voice trails off as she notices her hands trembling. The woman who'd crushed countless competitors, who'd earned the nickname the Jade Emperor in Asian markets, now stands powerless in her own domain. A notification chirps on her phone. CNN breaking news. Another weapons cache discovered in Singapore linked to shell companies. Victoria Sterling's blood runs cold as she recognizes the company names. All Apex subsidiaries she'd personally approved. The hashtag, What's Apex Arms, starts trending, each mention another nail in her legacy's coffin. They used me. Victoria Sterling realizes, gripping her pendant so hard the edges cut into her palm. My reputation. My connections. Every deal she'd celebrated, every award she'd won. All of it tainted, transformed into a monster's smokescreen. The cleaning solution's harsh scent seems to intensify, burning her nostrils like judgment. Type, legacy lost. If you've ever discovered something you built was corrupted by others. Sara's efficient movements suddenly freeze. Company security approaching fast. She warns her cleaner's uniform, incongruous with her commanding tone. Victoria Sterling watches the surveillance feeds through new eyes. Her carefully crafted security system now threatens them both. The cameras that once made her feel powerful now feel like crosshairs on her back. Your chief of security is part of it, Sara reveals, showing Victoria Sterling photos on her device. Along with your entire Asian operations team. Each swipe brings another familiar face, another trusted colleague revealed as a conspirator. The jade pendant seems to pulse with each revelation, a reminder of her blind arrogance. Victoria Sterling's world shrinks to the sound of approaching footsteps and the weight of her pendant. 15 years of power crumbling in 15 minutes. The cleaning cart Sara used as cover now holds evidence that could save lives, or end them. The mighty Victoria Sterling, who once commanded boardrooms with a glance, now hides behind it like a fugitive in her own building. Time to choose, Ms. Sterling, Sara says quietly. Your legacy or the truth? The footsteps grow louder. Victoria Sterling's hand moves to her pendant one last time, feeling its familiar contours. The same pendant she'd worn while signing the deals that had unknown to her armed terrorists. The weight of consequence crashes down like an avalanche. For the first time in 15 years, Victoria Sterling feels truly afraid. Victoria Sterling's manicured fingers traced the smooth surface of her jade pendant, once a symbol of her corporate supremacy, now transformed into something far more vital. The familiar click of Sara Miller's cleaning cart echoed through Apex Financial's executive floor, but Victoria's shoulders tensed with newfound understanding. Every mundane sound now carried weight in their dangerous dance. Just another late night, Ms. Sterling, Sara, no Staff Sergeant Collins, called out in her practiced cleaning lady voice. Victoria's heart raced at their shared deception, remembering how she'd once dismissed this woman as merely part of the background scenery of her corporate empire. Indeed, Sara. Perhaps you could start with the conference room. Victoria projected her CEO voice while discreetly activating her phone's signal jammer. The jade pendant swung against her silk blouse as she moved, catching the light. 3 slow swings their agreed-upon signal for clear to proceed. The next few hours unfolded like a surreal corporate thriller. Victoria orchestrated an emergency board meeting via video call, keeping key players distracted, while Sara accessed the secure servers. Every notification ping made Victoria's fingers clench her Mont Blanc pen tighter, her usual boardroom confidence replaced by raw nerve. The Q3 projections demonstrate unprecedented growth. Victoria declared to the screen of nodding executives, all while watching Sara's reflection in the window, methodically photographing documents in the adjacent office. The same office where just last week Victoria had smugly approved weapons shipment manifests disguised as routine financial reports. Hoim. Type power shift if you've ever discovered your perfect world wasn't what it seemed. Your attention to detail is impressive. Sara? Victoria announced loudly for any lingering ears as Sara completed her mission. The words tasted different now, respect replacing condescension. The cleaning cart's wheels squeaked past Victoria's office, and she found herself studying her jade pendant's reflection in her darkened computer screen. "When did I become the one being cleaned out?" she whispered to her reflection. "Hautum." The operation's pivotal moment arrived at 2 a.m. Victoria's hands trembled as she input her security codes, granting Sara access to the building's restricted level. The pendant swung wildly against her racing heart as they descended in the elevator. Two women whose worlds had collided in the most unexpected way. "Your corporate mask is slipping." "Victoria?" Sara murmured, her special forces training evident in her steady stance. "Good. We need the real you for this." Victoria squared her shoulders, channeling decades of boardroom authority. "Then the real me will have to be enough." They emerged into the sub-level, where the Russian buyers weighted Victoria's Louboutins clicking against concrete, a sound that once announced her power, now marking potential doom. 17 hours into their partnership, Victoria watched her carefully constructed world dissolve. Sara's team breached the building with precision. The weapons cache was secured, and Victoria's signature was on every incriminating document needed to dismantle the trafficking network. The jade pendant caught the flashing lights of FBI vehicles, its green surface reflecting red and blue. Victoria Sterling, who had spent her life clawing her way to the top, found herself surrendering to a greater purpose. The cleaning lady had swept away more than secrets. She'd stripped away Victoria's illusions of control. Share this moment of truth with Oscar Sterling Falls, when doing right matters more than being right. "I never saw it coming," Victoria admitted as dawn broke over the city. A CEO outsmarted by her cleaning lady. She touched the pendant one last time before removing it, another signal, this one to herself. Sometimes the view from the top blinds us to what's really important. Sara stood beside her as federal agents swarmed the building. "You made the right choice, Victoria. Not everyone in your position would." Victoria watched her empire crumble with surprising calm. Perhaps it's time someone cleaned house properly. The sound of handcuffs clicking onto her former associates echoed through the lobby, a corporate symphony reaching its final note. Victoria Sterling stands before the executive board, her jade pendant heavy against her chest. The pristine office, once her fortress of power, now feels like a confessional. The morning light streams through floor-to-ceiling windows, illuminating faces that once cowered before her, but now lean forward, hungry for answers. "For 15 years, I built Apex Financial on a foundation of secrets." Victoria Sterling's voice carries across the hushed boardroom. Her fingers trace the jade pendant's smooth surface, no longer a symbol of authority but a reminder of her blindness. "I believed power meant controlling every narrative, seeing threats in anyone who seemed beneath us. The quarterly reports projected on the screen behind her tell only half the story." Victoria Sterling's hand trembles slightly as she clicks to the next slide, revealing Sara Miller's military credentials. The board members' gasps echo like accusations. The cleaning cart's familiar squeak haunts her memory. That simple sound that once irritated her now represents everything she failed to see. Sara Miller didn't just expose our weapons trafficking oversight, she exposed something far more dangerous, our arrogance. Victoria Sterling's throat tightens around the words. The jade pendant feels like it's burning against her skin. We became so focused on appearing powerful that we forgot to be vigilant. We mistook humility for weakness, and that blindness nearly destroyed everything we built. Breaking news alerts flash across phones around the table. CNN's headline screams, Apex Financial CEO Victoria Sterling reveals weapons trafficking prevention. Cleaning lady revealed as Special Forces hero. The hashtag #CleaningHouse trends globally within minutes, but Victoria Sterling barely notices. Her empire isn't crumbling, it's being cleansed. A young board member raises her hand, voice sharp with accusation. How do we trust your leadership after this? Victoria Sterling removes the jade pendant, placing it carefully on the polished boardroom table. Its green surface catches the light, reflecting like truth itself. You don't have to trust my leadership. You have to trust our new direction. Sara Miller showed me that true power isn't about control. It's about having the courage to let go of it. The squeaking wheel of a cleaning cart passes outside the boardroom. Victoria Sterling pauses, a sad smile touching her lips. Sara Miller taught me that sometimes the most powerful person in the room is the one you never notice. My jade pendant will be displayed in our lobby alongside her cleaning cart as a permanent reminder that appearances deceive and true strength often comes disguised in humility. The board sits in stunned silence as Victoria Sterling outlines Apex's new transparency initiatives. Her voice grows stronger with each point, no longer the sharp weapon it once was, but something clearer, truer. We're not just cleaning house, we're rebuilding it. On a foundation of truth this time. As the meeting concludes, Victoria Sterling stands at the window watching the city below. The jade pendant's empty chain dangles from her fingers. A notification pings. Once her cleaning house has reached million mentions. But for the first time in her career, Victoria Sterling doesn't care about the numbers. She cares about the truth. Type truth rises if you believe in the power of humility. She whispers to her reflection, seeing not the polished CEO of before, but someone new. Someone humbled, someone stronger. The sun sets over the city skyline, casting long shadows through the boardroom. Victoria Sterling leaves the jade pendant in its new display case in the lobby next to a simple cleaning cart. A plaque reads, Power comes in many disguises. Victoria Sterling, CEO of Apex Financial. In the end, her greatest achievement wasn't in the billions she made or the empire she built, but in the truth she finally embraced. The squeaking wheel of Sara Miller's cart may have stopped echoing through Apex's halls, but its lesson resonates louder than ever. True power lies not in control, but in the courage to let it go. Drop 1 if this story changed how you see power. Share if you believe in the strength of humility. Cleaning House.